wants to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. Feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna shake the ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Milam. I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Par-Mar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Par-Mar stores.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Northern Eagle Distributing, proudly serving Anheuser-Busch products to West Virginia. The WolfMan's Call Network welcomes Calacino's Pizzeria and Sports Bar from Beckley, West Virginia. The Pitch Sports Bar and Grille, Dunbar, West Virginia. And Danny's Bar from Princeton, West Virginia. Only at these fine establishments can you enjoy the Wolfman's Call. And hello and welcome on this fine day. It's Wednesday, man. I tell you, we're just getting over the hump again. The time's flying by. 17 days to Happy Valley. I think. If I'm wrong, I'm off by a day. I have no idea. But 17 days, man. Whatever's a Happy Valley for the Mountaineers. Get fired up, baby. Let's go. Whenever it's time to go, it's time to go. You know, I just put out a tweet, and I'm thinking to myself, today we're going to talk about a little bit with Twisted Rooster and a little bit with Talk Is Pitt, because, you know, all this conference realignment right now, all of it going on, all this shuffling, all this schedule shuffling, because you got to do it in a year, right? The next year. All this. Wouldn't that be a great time to secure the Pitt, West Virginia rivalry, the backyard brawl? Put out a tweet. No one said nothing about it. Boop, beep, chirp, 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 chirp. Nothing. What, man, this is the time to do it. I don't know if you can do it or not. Find a way to do it, right? If there's a time, there's a will, there's a way. Do it, man. That's what I'm talking about. And, you know, best opportunity that I can see right here. So let's jump on it today. Yeah, you know it, man. We're going to talk about the network. It's got a big surprise coming on the network and on the Voice of College Football Network. So I'm going to do Penn State pregame at the Pallet Bar. I see you down there at the Pallet. That's right. Teays Valley, right there, man. Scott Depot, right there at the Pallet. But it's only going to be for the Wolfman's Call Network. So if you want to watch it, you either got to go to the Voice of College Football Network or go ahead to one of these fine establishments here, like Archies, East Carson, Pittsburgh. Only place in Pittsburgh to watch it will be at Archies, man. How about this? Route 22 Sports Bar, Weirton, West Virginia. Yeah, man. Hey, they have the 1250-inch screen TVs making one, right? Calacino's new one down there, Beckley, West Virginia. Calacino's Pizzeria and Sports Bar. Cantrell's down in Hinton, West Virginia, man. Right on the river. That's right. Cantrell's River City Grill and Pub. How about that? Cheat Lake, Dizzy, out the links, play some golf. Watch that. Legend Sports Bar and Grill. How about Danny's in Princeton, all the way south, man, getting down there to the bottom of the state. It's big Mountaineer fans. What's up? Danny's Bar, there you go. And, of course, royalty, and that will be Keglers, right here in Morgantown. Jerry Lorenz, Dougie Moore, Greg Lorenz, Steve Lorenz, all the Lorenz family. God bless them, love them. How about this? Steve Reese, Mason Jar Saloon and Hot Spot in Morgantown, and the Mason Jar Barbecue and more in Fairmont. Either place, man, barbecue, rock and roll. What about the Tap House, Mountaineer Tap House with Melissa there, right in the heart Oakland Street, where all the dorms are, the new dorms for the students. Man, I bet you she's going nuts, enjoying it, having all those new WVU students coming in. All they want to do is they want to eat. That's right. And, of course, we got Jimbo's place, one in Elkins and one in Buckhannon. One was so fine, they had to open up another one. There goes Jimmy Pointer. Brickside Bar and Grille down in Bridgeport, baby. Yeah, there you go. Rob Davis, eat local. You got the pitch in Dunbar. Oh, Matthew, that looks like a good place. I cannot wait until I get down there and enjoy that. Already talked about the Pallet. Okay, so there you have it, man. It's the WolfMan's Call Network. We're going to be doing a special pregame because you know what the pregames, you know there's going to be film breakdown. You know I got some good stuff cooking for all that, all the best guests. There's no doubt about it. What do we got here? Kelly McCourt. What's up, Kelly? How you doing, buddy? All right, getting out of the hospital, man. Up to you, man. Cheers, bro. That's the way to get better. Way to suck it up when things really were tough. Way to go, Kelly McCourt. And here you go, Timothy Green. Let's go, Mountaineers. What's up, Wolfman? I'll tell you what's up. Let's restore the backyard brawl, man, with Pitt. Let's do the rivalry. We're going to talk to Pitt, talk his Pitt today, right? Because you know why? Because I'd like to keep my friends close, but my enemies right here, man, to the best. I want to know exactly what they're doing. He's going to give us a full report. And then in the SEC, we got Twisted Rooster coming in, man. He's going to crank it. But you know what? I'll tell you what we got, man. First thing is first here. Let's go ahead and break this down. There you go. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. I'm fired. Can you tell I'm fired up today? Yeah, I feel fired up. We're going to do this. I got this going on tonight right now. You have Coach Chris here. And I'm looking at this right here, Coach Chris. You can see this. Man, I tell you, this is a good dude. WVU football's band of brothers. They honor Greg Chris. Frank Fear tonight, 7 o'clock, right there on Facebook. And it's tonight, 7 p.m., Facebook Live at the Sports Channel. Woo! You got it, man. I'll tell you what, you got to do it, man. The Sports Channel, this is how you go ahead and hit that. There you go. QR codes, the Sports Channel right there, the column. Yeah, man. Facebook Live, right on it. QR code that if you want to watch it. You want to watch them honor Coach Chris. Great coach, been there for years, doing his service to West Virginians. I want to bring him on the show to give me a weekly update on high school football and basketball. That's right. Coach Chris, man, love you, brother. All right, what else we got here? Voice of College Football. You got to sign up for that if you want to get that the exclusive breakdown that I'll be doing right there. So cool. And we're going to put this up for you right now so you can see how you go ahead and sign up for this. So again, you got to either go to one of the fine establishments that I have in the WolfMan's Call Network, which you just saw, or you can go here, subscribe on YouTube to the search. You go to the YouTube right there. You go and search, and you go to at West Virginia, VOCFB, at Voice of College Football. That's West Virginia Voice of College Football. Because that's the only way. You want to see Penn State? I got film on Penn State. I got film on the Mountaineers. We're going to break it down just like I'm going to do today, but we're going to show you exactly what the Mountaineers have to do it. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and let's get into what Coach Brown has to say at his last press conference, just like I promised you guys. All right, here we go. Neal Brown talking about this. Here we go. I like this. Let me get it over here before we do this so we can get a good look at the man here, our head coach. There you go.
Here's what I'll say to open up is we're right in the middle of it. So we just finished practice 9, and I think it's day 11 or day 12. And so, I'm pissed. The kids are pissed. The whole coaches are pissed just because you're doing the same thing over and over again, right? And that's kind of the dog days of camp. And this is the most important week you have in your development of your football team. And we scrimmaged on Saturday. We got 50-plus reps with the 1s and the 2s. Yesterday was off. We had a hard practice today in Shells. We're going to have a hard practice tomorrow where we're going to tackle some on Tuesday. We're going to start school on Wednesday, which they're excited about. And then we're going to have a hard practice on Thursday, a little bit lighter on Friday, and then we're going to go 50 to 60 plays on Saturday. And so this is the toughest week as far as physicality, mental toughness, all those type of things. This will be the toughest week that we have. And so it's really about kind of finding where we're at. And we tested them some today, and we had some good responses, and we got some things we got to get better at. But it's going to be a tough week, but it's also going to kind of tell us where we're at. And so I'm excited to see that. So.
Oh, Oh, he's excited to see it. I'll tell you one thing they're not excited. They're not excited about starting school today. I don't care what you say. I was never a top dog starting school, regardless, man. But I will say this, is that they're pissed off during their camp, the grind of it. But I'll tell you what, they should have gone 2 days if you really want to know what being pissed off is about and the grind. But anyways, the way it is now, it's all good. I had to get that in there, though, just to remind everybody that they're only 1 days. But again, there he is. They're all in a bad mood. They're grumpy. They're hitting each other. You know, they probably won't get out of that until they get out to ready to be hit opponents that don't wear the same jerseys, wear the same color helmets, all that right there. But again, Neal Brown is setting the tone, saying this is a big week for the Mountaineers. Big scrimmage here at the end of the week. They hit on Tuesday. Really, because all this is going to keep leading into when you hear this here. So let's go to the next thing of Neal Brown. And I think this is kind of cool, too. I got this up here. So let's check it out. A little bit long, but
Saturday scrimmage, obviously big evaluation for you. Give us your thoughts, what you saw, good, bad, indifferent, whatever.
Yeah, I'll start defensively. I thought just overall we did a good job of getting lined up, and that's been, you know, my biggest things have been alignment, all right, physicality, and getting to the ball. You know, really a straining deal getting to the ball. And I thought our alignments were good, couple off with the twos, but our alignments were pretty solid overall. I would say we're almost there as far as getting to the ball, but we're not quite where we need to be. And then the physicality piece, we're being physical. We just got to, when we go into tackle situations, we've got to do a good job of running our feet. And it's like I was telling our team at the end, it's like, listen, guys, like, reason I'm like intense today, the reason I'm going to be intense this week is like we're not easing into this. You know, like we're not easing into this thing. Like I was sitting there yesterday and I had some downtime probably, which isn't good, so I'm watching a little Penn State and like I'm watching them on offense and like we're not easing into this.
Oh, I certainly wouldn't ease into it either. Talk about easing into it. Hey, if I'm going to be pissed this week or intense this week, I don't know, man. I thought that's what camp was about, being a little bit intense, right? Being physical. All right, he's saying the good thing, so I'm okay. I'm not going to go too hard on him, but I am going to say, you know what? Let's be pissed the entire time. Let's be intense the entire time because I think your players will respond to that. But again, I think he's just talking right there. But we're going to keep going with this. Say alignment. Boy, if you watch today's the finish of when I break down the fourth quarter of Oklahoma State, you're going to know what he means by alignment, lining up wrong, bad alignments, and knowing how to run through tackles. Now, let's just put this. So I said it's going to go through coaches speak of what he's saying. He's saying is moving your feet through the tackles. Well, it's just like blocking, is that when you make that initial contact, it doesn't matter if it's offense or defense, you want to keep moving the feet. On offense, if you move your feet, you can maybe break tackles. If you move your feet, you can block that defensive guy, maybe drive him down the ground, certainly drive him back, whatever. But you got to keep moving those feet. It's the same thing on defense. When you're hitting an offensive lineman or a fullback or a receiver that's blocking you, whatever it is, and then especially when you're coming in to tackle, man, you got to keep moving through. You can't be here looking straight up. You got to have leverage, and you got to keep moving your feet. That's what this team is missing, and you're going to see that as well when I do the breakdown later in the show. But great points, alignment, running through. He says he likes the physicality. What does he say about this defensive line? We know about the offensive line, right? We think that they're going to be fairly solid, but let's go ahead and let's hear about what he says about the defensive line. Because they're running their feet, right? They got to run their feet, defense, no matter what. There you go.
I think our D-line is doing better. You know, we're a group that's going to be by committee. All right, so we're deeper than we have been. Maybe we don't have a guy like Dante that's sticking out right now, but we're deeper than we have been. But it's going to be by committee, and so we're going to play 9 to 11 guys up there, and we're going to roll them. And so, but when they're in there for their 3 to 5 plays, they got to be, they got to be playing with pad level. They got to be striking with their hands, and that group's getting better. Like I'm pleased with their development.
All right, he is pleased with their development. All right, good sign right there. You're going to have committee. Well, Sean Martin, I don't think is going to be playing by committee. I think Sean Martin is going to be in there, and he's going to need the majority of the reps because you take him off for too long. Now, again, when you're playing in Big 12 defensive line, you definitely need at least 15 plays, 10 to 15 plays off of the D-line, maybe even more. Okay, the way that the Big 12 is rolling, and Oklahoma State and Texas Tech, and they go, hurry, hurry. They're not going hurry. They're going jet speed, right? So they're going and lining up. So you're going to need that. And committee. It's nice to know that you got 9 or 11 guys, you think? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm going to wait and see on that. I'll judge myself personally when I see those 9 or 11 guys go up against good competition, because it may go turn into 6 guys really, really fast. So, but again, he likes it, so I'm taking him for his word there, and he likes the growth, and they're learning against a good offensive line, right? So when you practice hard, what you said is they've been practicing hard, and this is on Monday, and then yesterday and Tuesday, they went ahead and they had tackling in the practice. Oh, I love it, man. I don't want injuries, right? So don't say, hey, if someone gets injured, it's the game of football. There's always a chance of that. You try to reduce it, you try to risk it, but you can't reduce it too much, because you got to be good. You got to practice good to be good. And you got to practice hard to play hard. Practice hard on Tuesday, practice fast on Tuesday, play hard on Saturday, play fast on Saturday. Play good on Tuesday, play good on Saturday. That's the thought process. That's what you want to do. Try to reduce the injuries, but it's not always there. Defensive line, looking to improve. Eddie Vestinarian. I screwed up. Sorry, Eddie. Love you anyways, man. I think the dude is tough as nails. I think that he can really, really go ahead and make a difference this year, because he's just tough. He doesn't have the best of skills, but man, he is 110%. And when I go ahead here and I look and I see guys like Sean Martin, and the guy that I really need to see something from, honestly, is I want to see Mike Lockhart, the Georgia Tech transfer. Okay, I watched him last year. He was about 15, 20 plays in per game. He needs to be able to rep 50 plays, giving that effort in shape all the time. Because when he plays, and I'm going to show that to you today at Oklahoma State game, you got to listen. You got to hang on, man. After Twisted Rooster, after Talk is Spit, hang on, because this last quarter is really strong. But you see that he's got talent, man. But you got to play every down like it's freaking the last down. Last down, every down. That's how you got to play it. That's what this defense needs to do for them to be tough. Just like they did against Oklahoma State. Man, they misaligned, they missed tackles. But you know what they didn't do against Oklahoma State? They never gave up, and they kept coming, man. They kept coming. What's next year? I'm all fired up. Let's go. Keep bringing it at me. Throw it at me, man. There we go. What's the next one here? Oh, the rotation. Oh, linebackers. Here we go.
Linebacker, a work in progress. That's a position we're putting a lot of pressure on. The way I look at it is every practice that I'm making, I'm like, okay, how can I stress our defense at linebacker to get them ready, where they have to communicate, them and Aubrey. And then on offense, like, how can I put the most stress possible on the quarterbacks? And then Aubrey Burks had a great camp. And I thought in the scrimmage on Saturday, our corners, I thought Lamp and Beanie both made some plays. And then Anthony Wilson is showing up. And so he's been a positive addition.
Wow, very nice, right? So I'm looking here at my cheat sheet, and I see that with Andrew Wilson Lamp, who last year was just a youngin'. Whew, boy, he got thrown off to the Wolves, no doubt about it. And now, of course, you got Beanie Bishop coming in from Minnesota. It was a year for Minnesota, and then 5 years with Western Kentucky. The experience certainly is there for him at that. That's nice to see. Nice that he stepped up. Anthony Wilson, I think, is a really big deal. This is what Neal Brown, he's mentioned him at least 3 or 4 times now, maybe 3, that he's really coming out. The kid from Georgia Southern in the transfer portal. Nice, because they're tough down there, right? That Georgia Southern, you don't play in that team unless you're tough. We all remember that way back when we played them when Gibby was defensive coordinator and Carl Joseph was here. That was the game he got hurt in, too. The next game he had 3 interceptions that Georgia Southern game. But regardless, Anthony Wilson, it is really nice to see that. And I'll tell you what, the will linebacker, I am really, really miffed. We're going to get Trey Lathan in the last segment, but they're looking for a will linebacker. And I don't know. I guess they need a spear more than need a will linebacker, because Lance Dixon, to me, was a will linebacker. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm right, because I don't know if I'm right or not. But Lance Dixon playing a safety spot at 225 pounds, even if it's 221, let's say he cut 4 pounds, he's playing safety at 6'2.5", 6'3". Okay, we played Minnesota in the bowl game, remember, out in Arizona a couple of years ago. Leading tackler, double-digit tackling. He was a natural will linebacker, transferred in from Penn State, and now he's out of spear as a safety. I've never seen a big linebacker do that yet. So I guess that's a great experiment. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to wait and see. But now we got the young man from Holland, the Netherlands, Favretz. And we got him there at will linebacker. We got Trey Latham, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and Ben Cutter, who's a true freshman. So you have a redshirt sophomore and Yarrow, and then you have Trey Latham, who's a redshirt freshman, and Ben Cutter's a true freshman. That's your will linebacker spot. So really what he's saying is communication. Yeah, they do have to communicate to Aubrey Burks. Now, let's go back to this, because we know that Neal Brown said he wants to reduce how tough the defenses are in alignment. You just heard him say again, alignment. Why does alignment have to be simple? Because they go fast in the Big 12, a lot of teams, and you get confused. Just like when Kansas went against them, and they were all confused, and they couldn't react. And so they want them to simplify things, and it's okay for that, especially if you got young guys, when you're looking at Andrew Wilson-Lamp, and you're looking at these young will linebackers, Lee Kpogba. Let's talk about him. I love him. Oh, no, I think Lee Kpogba's a dude, man. He's a dude, but he can only do so much as a dude. One dude can only do so much, especially when you don't use him and you let offensive linemen have free releases on him. I think you're using him up. You're not using him right. Cover him up so that he can go boom. I can go east, or I can go west, or I can go north and maybe drop back for south. But regardless, if you have a defensive lineman there so you don't have free shots on him, I think it would really help him. I think it would really, really help him and let him succeed at his position and his future. Okay? But again, when you're telling me about will position, you got no will right now is what you're telling me. Coaches speak. You got no will because they're not ready yet. This Trey Latham, I think, is really improving, and I think he's going to be something good. But right now, you're not happy. That's what that coaches speak just told me. Here we go. Let's roll another one. I hope you're enjoying this, because this is coaches speak, the WolfMan's speak. Sometimes you may or you may not be able to follow the translation. Linebacker communication. Oh, I forgot one thing. I'm sorry. Aubrey Burks, man. Woo. Yeah, let's talk about that, because I think that this cat can be really, really good. So you talk about communication, Lee Kpogba to Aubrey Burks. He's obviously the head guy in the secondary. He's got some new guys with him, but they're working it through it. And you got to be able to communicate. Again, you simplify the defense and you simplify the calls. You simplify the communication. Because when you roll into Penn State and you're trying to do this, you might as well get the teepee out there and start doing, smoke rings, and smoke signals, because you can't hear jack in Happy Valley. I've had every single player that I've had on here that has played at Penn State will tell you, even Coach Al Johnson, our Hall of Fame strength and conditioning guru, will tell you that Penn State is extremely difficult with all the distractions that it brings, because you can't hear jack. So when you talk about this communication, man, you better make it really simple. And I have no idea. We're going to have Penn State dude on tomorrow. Who's going to break down Penn State. And in the weekend, too, we're going to have Penn State the next couple of weeks. I got some dudes, man. I'm on a radio show, with Jay Paternal. It's their show. It's Pigskin Stew. I already had Jay on the show a couple months ago. He'll break it down Penn State. And Tom Bradley, guy that recruited me to Penn State, his defensive coordinator at Penn State for I don't know how many years. He lived there. Well, They are now at it. I'm on the radio shows with them with Pigskin Stew. 970 Pittsburgh. That is a plug. ESPN Radio, 970 Pittsburgh. Okay, every Thursday, we're on a Pigskin Stew, and we talk about Penn State, Pitt, and WVU. And but they're going to go ahead and come in and talk about PSU. But I got another PSU guy tomorrow as well. But let's go ahead and let's get this. I got two more. Then we're going to bring Twisted Rooster on from the SEC. Talk a little bit about rivalries, because why do we not want to secure a rivalry with Pitt again? Why not? With all this conference reshuffling, why not? Okay, that's my tangent right there. Here we go.
Offensively, the quarterbacks, we did some situational work. Nico had a really good 2-minute drive at the end of the scrimmage. Struggled with some decision making early. I thought Garrett was pretty solid. He ran around, made a couple scramble plays, but really just solid in his decision making on Saturday. Our running backs, Jalen Anderson, had a really good day. Was productive. He's a guy we need. We just got to get him in shape. He's got to be able to play continuous plays, but he's talented. Jaheim White was good. He was better without the ball, and that's what you always worry about with running backs early in their career is, can they play away from the ball when the ball's not in their hands? Can they lead block? Can they pass pro? Can they run routes? And I thought he did a better job, and Justin Johnson was really consistent. We took it easy on CJ. Justin's been probably our most consistent player at that position during fall camp.
Yeah, let me reverse order that before I get to the quarterbacks, because I really was intrigued by what he was talking about, the running backs. Triple J, right? Justin Jump Cut Johnson. Okay, that's what I call him, because have you ever seen a jump cut when he gets in the middle of the line? Cha-cha, cha-cha. Well, that's what he is, and he's been about as solid back in the last year and a half. I'm telling you, I think he's really been straight up pretty reliable, if anything, reliable. And then he talks about Jaheim White, that's good away from the ball. Yeah, you'd love to hear that. That means that he's not afraid to stick his face because someone is blitzing, or someone coming around the edge, or coming right up the middle, man. And he sits there and he gets real big. And he's like, all right, come on. That is so cool for a freshman, right? So cool that he can do that blocking. How about pass routes? They talked about him possibly being a factor in the slot, not even just running the ball only. And then Jalen Anderson. Ooh, I don't know about Jalen Anderson, but I know Oklahoma State, when I broke it down, dude had 120 yards and 2 carries. Something like that. But he broke it. Jalen, get in shape, dog. Whatever you do, man, get in shape, because we need you. And CJ Dowson, if he takes it easy, I'm sure they're making sure he's good. I tell you, when I saw him, he was like 240, man. Just thick and thick. Him and Lee Kpogba look like the Buff brothers. That's what they look like, the Buff brothers, for sure. And so let's go. Quarterbacks. So again, you said Nico, a couple bad decisions earlier. They mainly ran in this and not threw as much. Then you had Garrett, real secure, confident. Garrett, what's he going to do? He's going to run really well. We know that. Now, yesterday, this is really intriguing to me. All right, because I had Darren Stutzel on, because everybody's like, well, it worked with Couchner, it worked with Stud. And if you watch yesterday's show, Stud was on and talking about how it worked for them. They went 11-0. So obviously a 2-quarterback system can work. I have no idea if that's what they're going to do. I'm not saying that's what Neal Brown's going to do. But if they do decide to use both, they both really have 2 different skill sets, in my opinion. And I'm sitting here, and the more I think about it, the more it's like, yeah, man, that's not bad. A little change up every now and then, because I want to tell you why. Major Harris, okay, he didn't sit there and rotate with anybody. He did not rotate with anyone. But what he did do is that we included option in a power running game. We ran ISOs. We ran counters. We ran powers. Okay, we ran sweeps. Okay, we ran bellies to fullbacks. Okay, but we also ran the option with major. Midline option, man. And that, what that does? That really adds to the defense. And so I know both of them could actually run the option. And I think I talked about this last year when we beat Penn State. It was like in '88. It was crucial. The option was crucial in that game. And if you can add that to a power running game, man, that's cool. Hang on there, Rooster. I almost got you, brother, but I got one more to go here. All right, he's giving me the thumbs up. Excellent. He's backstage here. Let's go. But do you understand what I'm saying, though, about that? So Stud and Couch, did it well. They talked about it. They got along. It's really about the two quarterbacks and the team and how they go ahead and do it. Don't know. It could be just Garrett. It could be just Nico down the road. Who knows? We will see. But let's check it out. Last one from head.
Yeah, Trey Lathan.
Neal Brown. He said, Trey Lathan. I'm talking there. I apologize. Oh, shut the yap. Here we go.
Trey Lathan had a great day today and made a big step on Saturday too. And he's athletic. That's what we're looking for. You know, he's so you got to remember he played receiver in high school, played a little bit of defense his senior year, but from a size, speed, length, he's those things. You know, he needs repetitions. And I thought he had a really nice day on Saturday, and I thought he may have had the best day of anybody out there today. He had a pick six in a team drill. Had a really nice stop on a run play in a fourth down period we did. And so pleased with his progress. And he can do it. He can do it. We just got to get him. We got to get him ready to go fast.
Wow. That's what it is, man. So when I talked about that Will linebacker, you know, ready right now. But there is 17 days to Penn State. 17 days. And we got to see what Gyro's going to do. But you know, you played 4 games last year. Trey Lathan played 4 games for WVU, probably special teams, because 4 or short, more less, you don't burn the red shirt. So he did that, and they kept him. So he did get some experience there last year. He's 6'1", he's 222. He looks good at that weight and size, but he's a pup. And you just heard him say he's a wide receiver. So now he's got to learn that whole defense. So when you're on offense, you're the one going somewhere. You're going. You know where you're going. I'm going to point A. I'm going to point B, C, D, whatever it is. Now on defense, you're like, I got to react to that point A, that point B, point C, or D. So now that's the most difficult thing. And then you add Power 5 speed on there. And then it's like, whoo, man, what was that? Was that Mario Andretti that just blew by me? Right? I think Rooster knows that one. I think he's a NASCAR guy. So he understands what speed does for you. Because when speed is speed, speed kills. Said it for 10 years on the network, regardless. All right, so let's hope he's getting that ready because we need that Will linebacker spot. Need it to be filled. And I'm going to shut up about Lance Dixon. I'm just going to shut up about it, all right? We'll see how it works out, and I'm praying for him because that's what he wants, and I want him to be extremely successful. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get this commercial from Abby, 30 seconds, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring the twisted man on himself. Who knows what he's going to talk about this week in the SEC.
Hi, I'm Abby Pearson from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and when I'm back home, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
All right, thank you very much, Abby. And before I bring on Twisted, tell me this is not a good time to find a way. I have no idea how you do it. I'm not the athletic directors. I'm not the presidents. But now would be a great time, if you ever a time to try to restore rivalries, now would be the time to do it with all this reshuffling of schedules. And with that said, hello, Twisted Rooster.
What's up, Wolfman? How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. What do you think about that? Because I got something for you, a special game for you. What about that? What do you think about that? Bringing the rivals back, if you can. If there's any possible way, it seems to me now would be the time to make that change.
Yeah, I agree. With all the realignment going, I think a lot of people fear losing more rivals and rivalry games. 2024, South Carolina, while we're used to being in the East of the SEC, a lot of the teams that we've played every year since joining the league, we don't play in 2024. And some of them you just look at and you're like, man, I cannot believe they're not playing that football game. And it's
who are you talking about, for example?
Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, 2024, we don't have Georgia.
Yeah, but is that a good thing?
Probably, but It's still a border rival. We're not playing Florida in 2024 or Tennessee. So that whole little area that we've always played, and I love the Florida game because I live in Florida. It gives me an opportunity to go to football games when South Carolina comes down here. And now that one won't be played in 2024 either.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. So I'm looking at these. This is what really got me interested in here, and I think this is off of Athlete Sports. And let me just blow this up real quick here. I'm looking at these rivalries here, and I'm seeing, Kansas, Missouri. That's okay. I mean, I know what that is, and now Kansas is getting better, so that's different. Nebraska, Colorado. Wow, that's an old one, right?
Yeah.
Then you go to Pitt, West Virginia, backyard brawl, man. It's been there over 100 plus years. And then Florida, Miami. Wouldn't that be nice to get that back, that Florida Miami game? I mean, really, it'd be really cool. And then you look, of course, you got Maryland, Virginia. To me, that's not great, but I understand the traditions. A&M and Longhorns. Wow, I mean, they're in the same conference, right? Maybe, they should be going ahead and doing that. Notre Dame, Michigan, that's funny that they're not there. But I say this one for you. This made me think of you all together. North Carolina, South Carolina. What is that game about, and what does it mean to both sides?
I can talk to you about South Carolina's perspective on it. I don't know about North Carolina's side of the equation.
Okay.
Because when I lived in North Carolina's not a big football state. It's it's a basketball state.
Right.
Honestly, if you think about it, between North Carolina, Duke, they're really more into their basketball. Now I know they have a lot of football fans up there. South Carolina side of it, we enjoy playing North Carolina. I don't really see North Carolina as a true like rivalry. Like we don't have a hatred like we do with Clemson.
This is the fake news.
When we were in the ACC, it was more probably of a rivalry because it was a conference game,
right?
And it was a border rival. But if you're going to take Georgia off of South Carolina's schedule, you're getting rid of another border rival. So, but I do enjoy playing North Carolina. I don't think it'll ever be a game that comes back every year, but we do play them this year. We played them in a bowl game, not this past bowl year, but the year before we played them in a bowl game in Charlotte. So I do enjoy getting to play them, and I love to play North Carolina State. Getting to play some of the North Carolina schools. Of course, we talk trash. Who's the real Carolina?
Right. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Who got the real barbecue? Right. I mean, all that good stuff there. So, okay. Well, then if North Carolina is not your rival, who has been your rival that besides Georgia that's in the SEC, one that you would like to restore if you could?
I would say South Carolina. We probably have more of a hatred towards NC State because some of the games have been a lot of trash talk. And even back into the mid 2000s, we played North Carolina State quite a bit, and there were some really good games in there. But I think NC State seems to be more of a trash talking school than North Carolina is, so they create more of a rival.
All right. So let me just assume here, and don't get me in trouble. Okay, North Carolina, a bunch of blue bloods, right? You're talking about Tobacco Row. NC State, though, we're talking about regular doggone people that are tough, blue collar, that would trash talk more or enjoy it, or at least get in the heart of it and be a bunch of tough people, I would say, just like the Gamecocks now.
Oh yeah, NC State, even Clemson fans would probably tell you the same thing if they had a rival that they do play, even though they're in the ACC. If they considered a team a rival out of the Carolinas, it's definitely NC State because those two schools trash talk each other also.
Well, I hear that, man. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I want to get this up. I want to talk about this. I've been wanting to talk about it for a couple of weeks now, and we've just had great conversations in other areas, so much with conference realignment. But let's get down to some players here now that actually are going to be doing the talking. And I was really surprised by this. I don't know if it's just the fact that Spencer Rattler is South Carolina, which South Carolina is not your top 4 or 5 teams, SEC, but they're moving on up, at least lately for that matter. And I'm not sitting here poking at it. But Spencer Rattler is down for quarterbacks. And I thought he was supposed to be top 1 or 2 in the country when he was at Oklahoma. Know that he's had a tough time at Oklahoma, but he showed signs last year at South Carolina. And you guys are expecting some real good stuff from him this year.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Wolfman, it was a tough year, and especially in the beginning for Rattler. Learning a new offense, and our offense coordinator, we kind of cut him a break the first year when Beamer came in and he brought up Satterfield in as our offense coordinator because we had to rotate quarterbacks. I don't know if you remember hearing the story about a kid that had came in. He was a grad assistant for a football team that had 1 year eligibility left.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, I do remember that.
Zeb Nolan. But so we struggled at quarterback that first year. So we cut our offense coordinator a break, right? And we rotate through 4 quarterbacks. Well, you bring in Spencer Rattler. Offense doesn't get any better. Rattler's confused. Offensive line's confused. Rattler looked like a deer in the headlights a lot of times, like he was confused on the play call. He even actually said it after one of the games. He did an interview. He said, well, if we ever figure out what we're supposed to be doing, we might be really good.
Okay.
And that's kind of not something you want to hear come out of your quarterback's mouth.
No, not at all.
So I think they finally, the last straw for what we have for our offensive coordinator was the Florida game where we got ran over. We went down there. We couldn't stop the run. They ran over us. We couldn't score. We just looked terrible. And, the game before that, Rattler threw 7 interceptions against Missouri in one game.
No, I didn't remember that one. I must have missed that week.
Yeah, here's the thing. He only had 12 interceptions on the year, and he threw 7 in one game.
I mean, what after the 4th one, do you think it would be time to pull?
Yeah, well.
I mean, maybe he's not having his day.
I think it was to the point where South Carolina kind of knew they were going to lose that football game, even though it was a battle back and forth. We still had a chance to win the football game.
Okay, all right.
So, you still want to go with your best player, and we really, we didn't have a strong backup. Luke Doty was coming off a broken foot the year before, so he didn't get a lot of work in the off season like you would want. And then it just, no matter what, Rattler still give you your best option to win a football game when it came down to the 4th quarter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't know. Maybe the 5th one then, okay? Not the 4th. Maybe the 5th one. Regardless. I'm just having fun with that one. All right, so let's take a look at these quarterbacks now. I knew Jefferson for Arkansas was going to be, up there. What I've seen is that he is kind of universally number 1 rated quarterback in the SEC. Is that true, or am I off?
I think here's going to be the problem with, yes, KJ Jefferson played very good last year. He got injured last half of the season. Arkansas fell off. Well, Kendall Browse is no longer the offensive coordinator for Arkansas. They're going to run a completely different offense with KJ this year. So I don't know. It's more of an RPO style. I don't know how that fits KJ. And then I haven't done a lot into Arkansas as far as their returning production out of their wide receiver rooms. But I do know when you change offensive philosophy, sometimes if you don't have recruited your kids to fit that offense, you have to be really, really careful with. It may take a few games before they get used to it.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Okay, so let's go to everyone's favorite, it seems like, Jaden Daniels. Sorry, I was thinking of Jalen Daniels out there in Kansas. But Jaden Daniels, what do you think of that? What's his deal?
He should be really good again. He's still with Brian Kelly. They still got the same offense. They're returning a lot of players at LSU. I don't know if he's really getting enough respect. You don't hear much about him. Everybody's always talking about, people always want to go for a negative, right?
Yeah.
They're going to talk more about the quarterback controversies and the negative side than really go out and talk about the positive side and some of these kids. And yeah, I think he's still going to be really good this year.
Yeah, so he's going to be a threat. How good? You think that LSU can hang with Georgia, Alabama. You think you're going to be right there?
Well, last year LSU won the West.
Yeah, true.
They also have one of the best defensive players, if not the best defensive player in college football, in Howard Perkins.
Yep.
Yes, they'll be there. I think they're somewhere around over and under 10 and a half wins. They just can't drop the games they're supposed to win. That's the problem with LSU. You can't lose to Florida State first game of the season. A lot of people say, well, they're not. That could be a pick 'em, but I'm just saying, I think LSU is a better football team. They proved it last year. They were a better football team. And you can't lose to like Texas A&M when Texas A&M was having a terrible year. You gotta win those. Those are the ones that'll kill you.
So what does it say? What does it say about a Georgia team that's rated number 1 but has the 10th rated best quarterback in the SEC? I mean, I don't know what the different separation is from 1 to 10. Where does Carson Beck go about and fall into it?
We haven't seen enough of Carson Beck, so I can see why you don't rate him highly as a quarterback, but we know around him, Georgia has plenty of depth. And they brought in 2 great wide receivers. Rob Thomas came in this year. They still have Brock Bowers at tight end.
Yeah.
Their running game, I don't know, but I know Mike Bobo is now their offensive coordinator since Todd Monken left, and Bobo loves to run the football. And one thing I do know is Georgia's offensive line is full of 4- and 5-star guys.
Yeah, they certainly are.
So he's going to be well protected. We'll have to see how his decision making. If anyone can put pressure on him, that's the biggest thing, man. He's driving a Cadillac. He's well protected, so it's just him making the decisions on which way he needs to turn the wheel.
I got you. All right. So now I'm feeling for Graham Mertz down there for the University of Florida because, they ranked our quarterbacks, Athlon's did at number 14 as well. What does that mean for Graham Mertz? Just a young buck coming up, Florida, they're making a move. What are they doing?
Well, I think for Graham Mertz, the biggest thing is it's a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
Coming to the SEC, you were talking on this earlier about speed.
Mm-hmm.
Size and speed is what the SEC is built on.
Right. And big too, though, right? Like huge and fast is what you're saying.
Yeah, they do it on purpose. I mean, here at South Carolina, we had 31 players set their all-time fastest speeds just over the summer, and they up their squats by 50 pounds, their bench presses by 25 pounds. I mean, that just shows you the work you got to put in as these young kids. They're building them up, man. They're packing weight on them. And I think that's just the biggest thing with Mertz. It's going to be a big learning curve coming out the gates. They got to play Utah, which is a very physical football team. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how he performs against Utah, and that should tell you a little bit more on how his year is going to go because Florida has a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And they do have a tough schedule for sure. So last one. So just finish up. Spencer Rattler, what do you expect out of him this season for the Gamecocks?
Well, I'm going to go off of some stuff Spencer. He did an interview yesterday after practice. The offense, we brought in Dow Loggins, who was in the NFL. He was actually a head coach for the Jets and the Bears at one time. They said he had the worst offenses in the NFL, but, you got what you got in the NFL because you got to work with who your team drafted. But Spencer was talking about it. It's more of a friendly offensive system. And the communication between him and Dow Loggins has been much, much better. Dow Loggins is an offense coordinator that listens to his football team, and they're doing the things that he likes to do. That's good for Spencer, and it's helping the whole team. And they simplified their blocking scheme, so hopefully we can protect him better than we did last year. There's still some questions on the offensive line, but I expect him to be the leader. That's what his job is, to lead this football team and not make mistakes.
All right. Very good. Now I got a question here from the crew out there. What do you think about Texas OU? Are they going to be able to compete next year, or will it take a couple of years for to be relevant in the SEC?
My honest opinion, I think Texas will probably be a little more competitive because Sarkisian going to Texas, coming from Alabama, he knows what an SEC football team looks like, and that's how he's trying to build the Longhorns. and he's got a jump on Brent Venables out of Oklahoma. Oklahoma really didn't have a defense. Lincoln Riley never cared about defense. It was all offense. Well, then when Lincoln Riley left, of course, he took all the offense with him too. So Brent Venables has a little bit more of a hole to dig out of. But, with time, man, Oklahoma's going to get out there and sell that SEC brand. He's going to get players at Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's got the money to put behind it. They'll be just fine.
All right. We will see. All that always comes, we'll find out the truth in time. And good points there, Twisted Rooster. Very good today. I thought you brought your A game, brother, so thank you very much. And what's going on with you, man? How do we get you at your Twitter? I follow you on Twitter. How do we get your Twitter going on?
Yeah, just look up Twisted Rooster on Twitter. It's pretty easy to find. I post on there a lot. A lot of times it's just links to my videos and my shows on my YouTube channel.
Yep.
But I enjoy going on there trying to get information. You find out a lot on Twitter, and then once you learn everything that's out there, you throw away 70% of it because it's just people trying to troll and put crap out. But you get about 30% good information off Twitter.
Yeah, like me, brother, like me. All right there, Twisted. Go be Twisted down there for the Gamecocks. We'll see you later. Have a great
All right, buddy.
Take care, brother. Oh, I like that guy right there, man. He's cool. Very knowledgeable about the SEC. Doesn't flaunt it. Doesn't walk around like he's all that because he's SEC. So I like it. And although he does know he's all that, he just doesn't flaunt it like that. All right, so here we go. Talk is Pitt is coming up next, and guess what? I'm going to ask him the same exact question I asked Twisted. What's up, Talk is Pitt? How you doing today, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, Wolfman?
I'm doing good, man. I see some really kind of ugly colors, man, together. Individually the gold's good, individually the blue's good, but for those kind of, I don't even know. Do you call that royal blue? I don't know. I
call this proper blue.
Proper blue. I don't know, man.
Proper.
It looks a little bit light, like candy. You know what I mean? Like a little kid's candy. If I went to a candy store, I'd expect to see colors like that instead of a deep blue and a tough gold. All right, brother. Well, listen, man. Let's talk about this. Keep your friends close, enemies closer, man. And Pitt Panthers, Evil Empire. What's going on in the Evil Empire right now? When you look at that team, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get to the quarterbacks. But start off in general right now with the team. What is the update? What is going on in camp? Has there been any real injuries? Has there not? Has there been a lot of success? What do you know so far?
So, as far as injuries go, Pat Narduzzi is not one of those coaches who likes to disclose injuries or even talk about them. So, we don't know who's injured until that player says it on Twitter or during an interview or by some other means.
Right.
As far as I know, and I follow most of the players that have a Twitter account, there's no injuries to report or none that's going to keep people out for even a whole practice or whatever the case may be. So we're healthy, and that was a big problem last year. Even going into spring camp and fall camp, is we were riddled with injuries last year, and knock on wood that nothing serious happened. As far as like how the energy is around the whole team, what the public perception is. I don't think I've seen the Pitt Panther fan base so excited and so pumped up for this season to come because we finally have a quarterback who's not a statue. And which brings me to my next point. Phil Jurkovec is tearing our secondary apart.
Okay, now is that good or is that not so good?
That's good and bad.
Exactly.
And it's expected, though, to be honest, because I think we only returned 5 starters, like people who actually started last year and not people who played a crap ton of snaps due to injury. But I think we only returned maybe about 4 or 5 starters from last year. That's Devin Danielson, David Green, Tyler Bentley, Shane Simon. Okay, 6. Bengali Kamara and Marquez Williams. We're replacing a lot of other key positions. Oh, and can't believe I forgot about him. MJ Devonshire. So we return more than I originally thought, but the positions that we don't return experience in are key positions like safety. Because MJ Devonshire, he wasn't a safety, he was a DB last year. So we lose a safety. We lose an inside linebacker, even though Shane Simon's moving on to inside, which is his natural position. He transferred in from Notre Dame a couple years ago.
I remember.
And he's been doing great at outside, but you can tell when a quarterback is natural at Sam and then Mike backer position. You can tell like for instance, Clay Matthews for Green Bay. Whenever they had to move him inside, you can just tell that's not where he belongs. He belongs on the outside, attacking the outside, covering the outside, and getting to the quarterback.
Jack Ham, brother, Steelers.
Yeah. Another example. So the offense as of right now is winning the battle, but it's extremely close. And here's how you could tell who's winning who if you watch the Pitt highlights on YouTube for practices. Whatever position, offense or defense, if you see the offense in the blue, that means they're winning. If you see the defense in white jerseys, that means they're doing something wrong, and they're pretty much being punished.
I got you. All right, Narduzzi. Now listen, he knows about offensive and defensive line. What are you seeing there in the lines? Really interesting scrimmage.
The offense, from what I've seen, is there is pretty much a lock on all the positions except one, and that is I believe it's left guard. That's coming down to Ohio State transfer Ryan Jacoby or redshirt freshman Ryan Baer. Now, Jacoby has more experience at guard. The thing that he doesn't have is size, because he's only 6'4.5", maybe 6'5" if you want to give him credit, 305 pounds. That's a little bit too small to be playing guard. Now, Ryan Baer, on the other hand, he's 6'7", 330 pounds. The difference between him and Jacoby is Ryan is extremely flexible, and he runs a 4.6 for a 340-pound lineman.
All right, that's okay.
He's strong. He's just ridiculous. He's probably, honestly, our best lineman on the whole entire roster.
All right, so let me ask you this: defensive line now, because 2 years ago. Now, last year you weren't as effective. 2 years ago, you led the nation or top 3 or 4 in sacks, and not only sacks but TFLs as well. I mean, this was a defensive unit that was penetrating the offensive lines. Where do they stand now?
So last year unfortunately, we didn't get the rank number 1. We did come in second as far as sacks with 54 or 55, I believe it was. But I still do believe we ranked number 1 in tackle for losses. What Pat Narduzzi and Coach Partridge have been great at doing over the past few years is no matter who we lose, somebody is going to step up. And last year was no different. Now, we had Kalijah Cansey last year, but that was really the only consistent defensive lineman that consistently got after the quarterback and got after the running back, tackle for losses, even had a couple of passes defended. And what I'm concerned now is not necessarily trying to find somebody to replace him and be able to do what he can do, because you just flat out can't. Okay. I mean, Kalijah Cansey was even smaller than Aaron Donald, And some people even said that Kalijah Kancey was just this much faster and more athletic than Aaron Donald was at his time in Pitt, not how he is now. I mean, that'd be stupid to say. But, you know, as far as defensive tackles breaking through, I think that'd be DeAndre Jules.
Okay.
He's a redshirt senior. So if he gets hurt, he can come back another year, but then he's done. I believe that's how it goes. Am I correct?
Yes. Yeah, you did. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
I don't think he had a sack against Zach Frazier last year. I don't know if Pitt had a sack against the Mountaineers.
I honestly, our sacks came up the middle. That's where most of our sacks for West Virginia came up the middle, and especially on that goal line, which I have no idea why JT Daniels dropped back and didn't just, immediately let go of the ball. He decided to look downfield. But you guys were at like the 2-yard line in your own territory. And JT Daniels almost got you guys a safety that close. That came up the middle. Most of the pressures that we got on West Virginia either came through the guard position or at the center position. We didn't really have too much success getting to you guys around the edges.
No, you didn't. That's really what the strength was going into the game. All right, so just was told that Pitt, I didn't know this, and Walmart have the same colors.
Oh, man. I have never seen any Pitt gear in my life ever sold at Walmart.
Really?
None.
Right.
I actually got this at Rally House. I got this at Rally House. This was $40. This was on sale for $15.
I got you. All right. Well, let's get into this ACC talk here. And I appreciate the update on Pitt because, again, you got to know what you guys are doing, man. And we'll get into the rivalry thing after this. But let's take a look at this AC quarterbacks. And we'll just jump right to Jerkovac. Now, the Evil Empire, if you notice it, I got the Evil Empire right there on there. And when I think about, you said he's a movable quarterback. What is his strengths besides moving? His accuracy? Is it the fact that he threw, 3,500 yards at Boston College? Something like that. I just briefly looked at his stats, but, he has a lot of success.
And so everyone knows he was injured last year and he has a problem with being injured, or else I don't think we would be sitting there discussing whether or not Phil, or not discussing, but us and Panther Nation wouldn't be questioning if he can take us to another ACC title game. But as far as his strengths go, he can stand in the pocket with people in his face and still deliver the ball where it needs to go. I would like for him to bring it down just a tad bit because it feels like he throws rainbow passes. But there are also passes that only the receiver is going to be able to get as long as he knows where the ball is kind of going to go. And obviously he can catch. That to me stands out, especially in the spring game. If you go back in the spring game, the defensive line got through, but before they got to Phil, he had already threw a 50-yard pass with pressure in his face to above means. So he's not only can stand in the pocket and deliver a pass, he has great pocket pressure awareness, which is something we did not have last year with any of our quarterbacks. I got to give him credit for his accuracy because I never really considered him to be an accurate quarterback because he really only has about a career completion percentage rate of, 60%. Literally, that's about what his career completion percentage rate is. But you have to factor in his injuries and the fact that he only had one true weapon to throw to after his freshman season at Boston College, which was Zay Flowers. And I don't know if that name rings a bell for you.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
But
All right, man. Well, I'm looking here. So far, they got him as number 7. So obviously, these things really don't mean very much preseason.
yeah,
I mean, what you like here or there. This is Athlon's list, just so you know. I didn't take it from your list because I'm sure Jerkovit would have been number 1 if it was your list.
he's
But
not.
let's talk about Drake May, Jordan Travis, and Cade Klubnik from Clemson. Are those your top 3? Or is there someone else on this list that jumps out at you, what you think are going to be the top quarterbacks in the ACC?
So I'm glad that you actually gave me a topic to do research on. And whenever you said you wanted to talk about the quarterbacks in the ACC, what I decided to do was only do who I thought were the top 5 quarterbacks in the ACC that are returning, not people who are transferring in, starting their first year. And
I
the
like
number
that
one is,
you're making your own rules up.
yes, I always make my own rules. I'm a rebel. The number 1 player or quarterback in the ACC to me is Drake May.
Okay.
I think Drake May is the best quarterback in the ACC right now. 66% completion rate, 4,300 yards, 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And he also had 184 carries for 698 yards and 7 touchdowns.
All right.
He was a workhorse for North Carolina.
What is that, like 6 yards per carry? Something like that?
Yeah, it was 6.4 yards per carry that he had just on his feet alone. Coming in at number 2 is Riley Leonard. Now, here is the reason why I put him at number 2 over Jordan Travis, who is at number 3. So Riley Leonard was responsible for the most touchdowns out of any quarterback in the ACC. You could even argue he probably could go number 1. Riley Leonard threw for 2,967 yards, which is he had a 64% completion percentage rate, 250, 391. However, he had 20 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions, but had also 184 carries, 699 yards, but was responsible for 13 rushing touchdowns.
Okay. No, I didn't know that about Leonard. I didn't know about the rushing. Yeah, that's pretty good.
So that's why I would put him at number 2, arguably probably number 1 as far as quarterbacks who return the production that they showed their team last year. And then Jordan Travis would come in at number 3. He didn't have a lot of rushing yards. He only had about 417, which to me, that is a lot, but that's not as much as the other 2 individuals that we just talked about. And he had where was it? He had a 64% completion rate and threw for 3,200 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Now, when you throw only 5 interceptions in one season, that's pretty good, And a lot of quarterbacks wish they could do that, even on their good days. But I still don't think Jordan Travis is the best quarterback in the ACC. I don't even think Florida State should even be picked as high as they are, nor should they even be ranked. But I'll save that for another
He's saying
video.
you don't think they should be top 10.
No, I don't. They should not be top 10. They shouldn't.
Right.
I don't know. Whoever wrote that or voted them in must be drunk. And I'd like some of that whiskey if that's what you were drinking.
I'll tell you this now. So next Thursday, a week from tomorrow, I'm having Jeff Culhane. He is the Florida State play-by-play guy, and he worked with me in the network at WVU here. So he's coming in next Thursday to tell us exactly about Florida State. So you better watch and see what he has to say. All right, you're number 4. There we go. Let's not lose our place.
Okay. So number 4 is Garrett Schrader.
Okay.
All right. Now, I thought he had actually graduated. I didn't know he was coming back for his final year. I guess he's using his COVID year and everything. So here's the reason why I put him at number 4, because when he was on the field and he was playing, I guess, teams that are equal to Syracuse's talent, he did pretty good. Syracuse did start out 6-0 last year, which nobody saw coming, but you also have to look at who they were playing too. But we'll throw that out the window. I put him at number 4 because he had 205 completions out of 317 passing attempts, which is 64%, 2,640 yards, 17 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. But he also rushed a lot for 149 carries, 453 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Garrett Schrader, honestly, probably is the only reason why Syracuse even went 6-0 to start off last year in the first place. Because if anybody else was behind center, it didn't matter if everybody else was at full strength. Syracuse just wasn't Syracuse. You know, the chemistry was off. The timing was off. Snap count. I mean, we're talking about multiple false starts on a quarterback. I mean, I've never seen I've never seen a quarterback get so many false starts than I did in the Pitt and Syracuse game, because Garrett Schrader didn't play in that game. But when he was on the field and he wasn't injured and he was healthy, he gave Syracuse a shot at winning, and it didn't matter who they were playing. Even Clemson. They played Clemson pretty close last year. So that's why I have him at number 4. And number 5, the only reason why I put this kid there in the first place is because I didn't recognize the name of any other quarterback in the ACC. And that's Cade Klubnik. Now, Cade Klubnik had very little experience. He only had 697 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, a 61% completion rate. Now, what he is remembered for right now is getting completely demolished in the bowl game against Tennessee. I mean, it was bad, Wolfman. It was really bad. I don't know how much more I could say about that game, but I actually have him at number 5 because I'm trying to be kind.
Okay. All right, I get you. And you know what? He could use a little boost. He could use a little slap on the can. That's for sure.
Well, he's unproven. He's unproven. He hasn't really proved himself. Yes, he has a good game, but when it comes down to a big time game, like against an opponent with Tennessee, he flopped.
That's it. I'm sorry. I got you, bro. All right. We got some people taking shots at you, brother. I know you're good with it. So you paid way too much for that gear.
Oh man, hey, I make a good enough money to spend. So,
well, there you go. All right, we'll go ahead with that. Now, listen. All right. So my thing is this: all of this realignment going on, right? All this shuffling, schedules are getting thrown out the window. You know, they always say, "Yeah, you've been scheduling for 8 years, 10 years down the road." I don't care about that right now because apparently you can do whatever you want to do nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you want it bad enough, you really do it. This is a perfect time, if there ever was, to secure a backyard brawl for the rest of time. For the rest of the time, if we could get Pitt, West Virginia to say, listen, we're going to save one weekend every year to play each other. And I don't know how hard that is. I don't know how easy, whatever. Just get it done. Would it not be epic to have that every single year? So at least there's one rivalry, and all this conference realignment kind of, sorry to see it, but wouldn't that be great?
It actually would be great. And it's actually funny you brought up the backyard brawl, because on Twitter, there are quite a few West Virginia fans that I do follow, and they were discussing, do you think Pitt coming to the Big 12 is beneficial. Does it benefit Pitt if we would go to the Big 12? And it's mainly to secure the backyard brawl rivalry, because even for the next 10 years, I think there's a 2 or 3 year gap where we don't play each other. There's 2 or 3 dates that are missing that are not scheduled. So by us joining the Big 12, that automatically locks it, because the Big 12 commish and all the higher ups, or whatever you guys call them down there, I call them clowns, but all the higher ups up there, if they got their heads together, they would know that we have to play this game every year. And I think a lot of people, because the game hasn't been played in so long up until last year, they forgot what that rivalry meant to both universities. I'm not saying it made playing football pointless, but not having a natural rivalry every single year didn't fully fulfill the season like it should. High school, they have rivalries. Most colleges have rivalries. NFL, they play their rivals 4 times a year.
Yep, I hear you, man.
So
that's not bad stuff, and I think the time is right. I think Big 12 would be cool. I think, and so I guess the last question then is that you brought it up, so I'm going to go ahead. And is the Big 10, the SEC, and the Big 12 now, are they going to tear apart the ACC, or will the ACC stand on its own?
Yes, actually, I do honestly believe that will happen. I think it will come down to the Big 10, the SEC, and the Big 12, like you said, picking apart the rest of the ACC. Now, I think the Big 12 will get most of the ACC, and everybody else will go to another conference, because I think what's going to end up happening, and I'm trying to look out for the group of 5 teams, because if we go to a 3-team super conference, there's going to be some ripple effect, in my opinion, to the group of 5 teams, because they use us to schedule. They use the Power 5 to schedule if they can't fill in a spot, and it's perfect. So what I think the group of 5 teams going to end up doing is a lot of them are going to form their own conference, the Mountain West, the AAC, and whatever's left of the Pac-12 if nobody decides to pick up a couple of teams. I think, honestly, they're going to come up with their own conference. I think there's going to be enough teams in that conference to make it a power conference, bringing it to a Power 4 instead of a Power 5. All
right, good stuff this week. I appreciate you going ahead and doing a lot of research, because you gave us a lot of information, man. And that's what I dig about you. I got this. Hey, look, Bart, you got 2020, can barely see that. That's why you need to go ahead and put it on your TV. That's what we do with the WolfMan's Code Network at the restaurants and the bars. They all put it on TV, so it gets real big. Just so you know, just trying to help you out. But we do appreciate you being here and paying attention. Okay, Talking Spit, thank you so much, man. And we'll be seeing you down the road here real soon. And boy, I tell you what, man, we'll see what happens. You got that quarterback. West Virginia doesn't know which way they're going to quarterback yet. Maybe they got an idea at the beginning, but we'll see, man. I think that's going to be
I will be at the backyard brawl. I will be down there. I'll be staying with Joey Foster.
You'll be with Joey Foster. All right. Very good. With Joey will make sure you're good, because you know why? I'm going to tell you this right now. West Virginia is very hospitable. Very hospitable. They learned their lessons way back when, and they're very much they welcome. Maybe not so much.
Yeah,
they won't be.
I
mean.
think the crowd's different. Yeah, crowd's different. Oh, and one more thing before I go. That bar you keep wanting me to go to on Carson Street, I believe it was. The name's not yes, Archies. I will be going there for my 34th birthday in a couple of weeks.
Hey, Mike, man, you hear that, man? There you go. So I'm already plugging it there. East Carson Street, Archies. Big Steelers fans. They got incredible wings there in Pittsburgh. And Archies is it. And they're good price, very affordable. So, all right, brother. Listen, appreciate you, man. And, Talk is Pitt. Friends, keep close. Keep you closer, man. Right there you go. Good job today. All right. Thank you.
All right. I'll see you later.
Yeah, man. Take care. All right. Now let's talk his Pitt. And like I said, we got to know what we're facing there. And he's got a lot of information. Dude is good. What he says, you have to be very careful and you have to respect your opponents. Have to respect your opponents. And bringing them in here, man, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I'm getting the information in here, getting it to you guys, Mountaineer Nation, dropping it on the line. And he'll be back. Next week we'll see. And we'll have other people for the ACC as well. It's all from the college football, the Voice College Football Network. That's why we have this. You had Mark Rogers on yesterday, who is the voice of college football from the Voice of College Football Network. I like how that goes. And let me go ahead and let's jump this on up here. And there we go. All right. So let's get into this. All right. Let's just recap what was going on here. This is the beginning of the fourth quarter. And West Virginia, they're up 21, and then Nico got the drive down. So it's 24 in the end to 19 was the score. This is the fourth quarter. And this is where you start to see a little bit of Oklahoma State realizing that they should be running the ball against a box of 5 men or 4 men at times, whatever it is on the defense. Sometimes it's 3, but they went to Steelers. I told you yesterday, it's the head up nose usually, or shade nose, and then you have 2 head up 4 techniques over the tackles. And then you have 2 linebackers, sometimes 1, but 2 linebackers, hopefully. That's where you try to get at least 5 in there to stop. Again, the numbers are 5 offensive linemen. If you're going 10 personnel, 2 by 2, which Oklahoma State did a lot. Spread everybody out, go, and then they got inside zone. And when they went outside zone, they were bad. And when they went to throw the ball, they were usually bad because Rangel was a freshman. Spencer Sanders was not in there. When you look at this, I want you to see a couple things. Neal Brown has been talking about what? And this is what I talked about at the beginning of the show. Physicality, number 1. Physicality, that's what he wants to improve. When you watch this, if you pay attention, you're going to see it. Number 2, it's about alignment. He wants to be lined up. Actually, he said that alignment number 1, physicality was 2, his actual words. So when you see that, he wants to align up. Again, with my cut-ups, you don't see that it's jet pace. It's a jet pace that they're going, hurry, 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 hurry. Line up. You don't see it because it's a cut-up. But they're just moving and hard to align when everything's coming at you. You got to get your personnel, all that communication. When they talk about communication, Lee Kpogba, Aubrey Burks, getting that communication to the defense, simplifying the defense so they can just react. And that's what you're seeing now. Well, I think a lot of it, in a nutshell, and it's not just this game, but it's the whole season. But in this quarter, I think that you'll really be able to see it. So without further ado, let's get into it here. And let me see what I got to do to get this up and get it. Well, hopefully, Luke, you can see this. All right, so this is a little bit big. Again, we're looking off right here. It's going to be 1st and 10. I'm seeing here they're going to move this guy into the fullback situation. It's the tight end. But I do like this. Now, listen, just so you know the terminology, because I always love terminology. And sometimes everybody's terminology can be different. But this here is the pistol. Why is it pistol, not gun? Because the tailback is behind the quarterback. You call that pistol. And now look at it, right? What you're seeing here is you got the fullback away from the strength. You see the tight end at the bottom towards the right tackle? So now you got pistol weak. Yeah, you like that? That's cool, right? And I like to always go, when I say it, if there's a guy in the box, a tight end especially, I want to say that's the strength of the run, so it's the strength of the offense, even if there's 2 receivers to the left of them. To me, it's weak because you're looking at the box and the running face. So that's how I did. That's how I coached as a defensive coordinator. So here we go. Let's take a look here. You're going to get, they go right to play action pass. This is a play action pass. This is not an RPO. And you see, look at these stills coming off the ball. He went through 2 players. I mean, This is bad. Bad throw. Good coverage by the defense. There you go. Jumping on up. Oh, look at these Stills. They're 55. This is, he goes through one. These offensive linemen in Oklahoma State, boy, did they have a bad day against Dante Stills and Sean Martin. And Mike Lockhart even got a little bit. Look at that. Two guys, man. That's why I think he's making the Cardinals this year. Because he can have skills like that. And they go ahead. He throws it to double bracket. Not happening. Not a chance, man. But again, worth looking at for Dante Stills when you're a Mountaineer fan. Oh, he's got the underneath the rip. Did you see that? That was so cool. All right, 2nd and 10. They're like, well, if we can't throw the ball, let's run the ball. And I think that's what they learned in the second half mainly. And you see, okay, the tackling right there. All right, we talked about what did Neal Brown say today about the tackling? He said you have to run your feet. And actually, this press conference, what I brought in today, but it was a couple of days ago. But it's like, wow, man, I'm watching this film. I'm like, yeah, you got to run your feet. You got to keep catching up because look right here. Look at this. All right, so you see here, Tar Simmons, he's going in. Where is the outside contain? Is that X-Ray who's still 5 yards deep waiting for this to develop? And you see there's no outside contain. Look at that. There's no contain. You got black on blue. All right, what you have up here is you got the safety is coming up. And let me sure I got the number right here for the safety. And that is Marquise Floyd. Yes, Marquise Floyd. Okay, so watch here. And you got to keep your feet. And he's going to tackle it. We talked about this already. Come in and run through. Look at him leave his feet. He leaves his feet. All right? He doesn't run his feet. That's what Neal Brown is talking about. That's a perfect example. Once again, no outside contain. I don't like the scheme. I don't know if that's a player's fault. I don't know if, you sit there and can say that you got to get over there and shed that guy and get to the outside. Well, it's not happening there. Bring your feet, Marquise. Bring it. Right there. It's not because he's diving through. He's tackling ankles, man. Tackling ankles. You got to run through the guy. Don't leave. Get the proper angle. And to be running through, you also have to have a proper angle at where he's going. Don't go where he's at. Go to where he's going. Offensive linemen do that against linebackers where they say, where's he going? Well, you can't say where he is now. You got to go to where he's going. And that's where you'll meet him at. All right? All right, so we'll keep moving on here. I think there's one more time. See the back end zone. You can see here, he's not, the feet are there. You hit him too low. If you keep your feet moving, you'll hit him higher in the hips because you're running him more. You're doing it. So, again, that's just a lack of angling for you, honestly, and then dragging your feet at contact. You don't want to, at contact, whether it's offense or defense, never stop moving your feet. 1st and 10. Here you go. Again, you're going to get that play action pass. Oh, look at that. I mean, I can't tell you much about this right here. I mean, it's just a really bad throw. Again, I think it says a lot for Nico in the second half, how his throws were fairly good and fairly accurate. He had some key third down situations. They were, at least for game time, didn't have to come up with a high percentage. But again, look at this. This was not so good there. Okay, so 2nd and 10. He drops the ball. Now he drops the ball. Dante Stills. I love this last game with Dante. He didn't get a chance to go to a bowl game, but boy, did he stand out. And I just wanted to play this a couple times just to give him his due. Right there, Dante comes right over the ball. You just saw him go through two guys to put that pressure on. He's been putting the pressure on all day long, even when they've been rushing three. Dante, horrible job by the offensive tackle. He looks like a big tubby. All right, 1st and 10. You see here, you got 4, you got 5 in the box right now. Look at this here. So you got 5 in the box. You got the other 2 kind of straddling, kind of out. They're trying to play. Why? You only have 3 defenders outside. Okay, so it's cover 4. You can see quarters. Okay, you got the corner up top. He's got quarters. You got the safeties, got quarters. At least that's what they're showing here. You see roughing at the bottom right there with quarters. But there's 5 guys on the core. There's not even a safety behind that core. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 offensive linemen, 6 with tight ends, and then you have a quarterback 7 and a running back. That's 8. So you got 3 receivers outside, and you have 5 guys in in the middle. All right. Now, check this out. What? Why? I mean, that's a great play there by the defender, and he's only going to get 3 yards. But again, constantly, why are you doing a defense setup like this? This is only set up for trouble. Only set up for trouble. Great play right there. I'll give you that. As you see, the tight end moved in, and X-ray moved out. And you'll see him change that on the next time they do that. But he actually moved out right there. And you can see that he's not getting in there from the outside. So that's just a wasted opportunity. Run that inside zone. There's Sean Martin. Boy, he had a good game. He had a good game. I have a lot of hope for Sean Martin coming off and being really big for the Mountaineers. All right, so again, let's look at this now. What's happened here? Look at this. See, actually, he moves out when the tight end moved in. He moved out. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But if a tight end, comes from a slot and moves in, why would you move your guy out? There's only one guy out here. You got a quarter. I don't know. So maybe that's what Coach Brown's talking about. Alignment, right? Alignment. Knowing your alignment. Getting lined up right, because that don't seem right. And then again, I think right here, Sean Martin does a nice job. And the nose guard, that's JJ, or is that not sure. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there you go, man. Now this is nice. And I sat there. I talked about him. And for Georgia Tech, young man, I'm just drawing a blank here all of a sudden. Let's see. No tackle. Oh man, Lockhart. Excuse me, from Georgia Tech. Now I told you sometimes he takes plays off. And this is last year I'm talking about. Here he did not. The guy's got ability. He's got ability. He just needs to be in shape to do it every down. So I'm hoping that this year with his maturity, look at him right there in the center. And again, if you're going to block you one man, if they're going to take one offensive lineman, here he actually goes through a combo right there. So that's good because the center's going on up for the backer, but that guard he took that combo, and then there's Eddie Vestarian. All right, so Eddie's right there as well. So they're actually penetrating here. So if you're going to let a free release on a linebacker, you better do your job as a defensive lineman penetrating and make that TFL. It's one or the other, because if you don't get through the offensive line and you're giving a free release up to the linebacker, well, guess what? You're not doing your job. Not doing it. But right here, yeah, I'll give you that, Big Mike. There you go. And there's, of course, who? Lee Kpogba. Lee Kpogba. Blocked by one, TFL, baby. All right, you see Eddie here. You see it's combo block there with Lockhart. And then you see Lee Kpogba coming in. Look at him blowing up that offensive lineman. He's a strong dude, man. That's just a strong linebacker coming in. And he's going to get in on the play. But that was all lock right there. That big Michael Lockhart. There you go. Play like that every down, man. Be in shape. Be ready to go. Coach talked today about Jalen Anderson being ready to go and be in shape. I think Big Mike, I want to see what he does. Really excited if he does, because he is big and he has talent. He just needs to have that conditioning. Yeah, there you go. All right, big dog. 3rd and 7 now. You're going to rush 7. You know I hate 3 linemen. But we got a Dante who can run through 5 guys. Maybe that's not so bad. All right, so again, I'm not going to sit here and go, but you have it here. He's got time. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Thank goodness for all the drop balls that Oklahoma State had. They had, I think, 8 or 9 drop balls. But again, rush at 3. Got to send a guy over the top. Marquise Floyd, stay with them, because that's a touchdown right there. At that ball, you can see it from the end zone shot coming on up. Yep, there you go. Oh, thank goodness, right? All right, cool. We'll take it. This is a game of football. Mistakes are made, and that's how you win games as well. So we will take that. And let's go ahead. First down coming. That was 3rd down. There you go. 1st and 10. You're on what? You're on the minus 25-yard line of Oklahoma State. So they're starting off in their own end. And you see 2-by-2, 10 personnel. And you had Gun Strong because you went to the field to the 2. So it was Gun Strong because he was to the side. It's good. Oh, look at this right here. Yeah. There you go. Oh, there's the come on, man. Well, no. Okay. That's just not good. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this because we're going to think that it's going to be bigger. But look at this right here. There's no bubble player, all right? If you see the hole here, all right, look at Lee Kpogba. Okay, you see Dante on the inside. He's like a 2-eye on the guard, all right? He's not a 3 to the outside shoulder of the guard. There's no bubble player, meaning that there's no guy covering the hole. You see X-ray, he's outside. Well, look at all that right up the middle. I mean, is that fundamentally sound? Is that how you play when you have here 5 offensive linemen against 5 defenses, so your backs are outnumbering? I mean, you're going to give up yards unless there's a penetration. So unless it's a TFL, it's 5 or more. TFL, 5 or more. I said about Oklahoma State. Now I'm saying about WVU. Because Oklahoma State's like, hey, we're going to run with these numbers in a box like this. Only one linebacker. Only one. And what happens? I got 2 guys. Look at Lee Kpogba. He's got no chance. Look at X-ray up here. I got no chance. X-ray's meeting him at 4 yards deep. You gotta get up there and meet him. You gotta bring that wood. And here he goes making. Now watch this tackle. You're not bringing your feet. This is what Neal Brown's talking about. Bring your feet with you. Run through the opponent. That's exactly what he's talking about. Run through the opponent. You can see here he's ducking his head, or he says, and he's a better player than that. He's a better player. He had 11 tackles this game. Could have had 20. Could have had 20 because they had so much into the secondary. Look at this alignment. Again, look at Dante right there. I think it's Dante or JJ. I can't tell on this copy, but he's a 2-eye inside the guard. He's on the inside shoulder of the guard. Look at the linebacker's alignment. There's no bubble. They call that a bubble. It's a triangle. It's just a bubble. You gotta, if you're not gonna have somebody in the middle there, at least gotta cover that alignment. Somebody tell me if challenge me. Challenge me. I don't care. Challenge me, man. Okay. So there you go. You got no hole. Here we go. You're meeting them. You got a big right through the bubble there, and then you come up with a tackling performance like that, and then you see the cornerback says, "Giddy on up." Well, I'll tell you what. Quarterback, giddy on up. Giddy on down. Okay? Yeah, don't be standing straight up. Attack him. You're riding with him. You're riding the cowboy. You're riding the horse, man. You're riding the horse, right? Anyways, all right. So it could be better. But remember, they did finish strong. This is the 4th quarter. Again, what are you looking at here? Another inside run. I tell you, I bet you Marquise wants to take a couple of these plays back here. Not watching them on film with the boys. All right. Now this is what happened. So remember, you have 4 guys inside the box of the defensive line, right? And then they had 1 linebacker. X-ray was outside the box. Okay. Now look at that positioning here. And what you're supposed to have, this is called Steeler, what I think. There's variations of it, so they could be doing a little bit different. What you're seeing is that the defensive line wants to squeeze inside. Call it Steeler. And that's what you're supposed to do. Castile brought that right from the Steelers. Jeff Castile. And they did it amazing, especially for this inside zone. Now, what happens here is what I'm seeing with the Steelers that they're trying to run is they're trying to penetrate those defensive linemen. That's not what Steeler was. Steeler was taking those 2 outside guys, put them in the inside 4, inside shoulders of the tackle, and they took that big gap, and you got the nose there, playing both sides right there. So, again, is you took it and you squeezed the middle. If you see this right here, he doesn't squeeze the middle because he's trying to penetrate. And what does that do? That opens up. And, again, why are you not bringing your feet with you? Look at, he stops his feet right before contact. Again, listen, all it is just a slight change. Run through the band. You're going to be okay, Marquise. You're going to be all right. Go ahead, run through them, and you'll make that tackle. I mean, it really is right there. Again, look at it. They're not squeezing. Watch the nose guard now. I don't see them squeezing down tight. Okay, well, he's taking a side. Now, there's Lee Kpogba's taking a side. So now I got 2 guys. I got the nose guard. I think that's Lockhart. I'm not sure. I don't want to throw names around that, but and there's Kpogba right there. And someone's not right because you can't do that. That's fundamentally unsound. And I'm going to go take a side. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to squeeze. I'm going to wait. If I got to play 2 gaps, I play 2 gaps. If I got 1 gap, all right, I'm going over here. Well, that means the linebacker's got to have a different gap. Not rocket science. Right? That's what he's talking about. Alignment, knowing your assignment, making it simple. Simple. That's what you see. Because you got 2 guys in the same gap, and now you got a gap free, just covering up. And now you got another missed tackle. And I think, you got a first down. I think you got 1st and 10. Look at that. Now you're back here to a 4-man defensive line and 1. Again, it's 10 personnel. You got the 2 receivers up top, 2 receivers at the bottom. You had Gun Strong. The running back was there. Again, you're getting beat now on this. You're getting beat. 2 plays in a row. That was like 30 yards here. And you got cover 4 going. You can see quarters. Why not cover 4? Because you're back. Look at the distance from the safeties to the inside slots. Okay, I don't. It's too much for me. All right, the guy to the field, that's okay. Want to maintain that depth. I don't like it even at that. But the safety to the bottom, you're going to come in. You're going to fill in that box. Because his job at cover 4 is, if it's a run, to go ahead and fill and be an extra player in that box. Okay, because that's how they did it. Iowa State actually started that off with the different levels of playing in Texas, if you remember that, the Longhorns, when they had the 4 layers. They had the D-line, Iowa State backers, you had the safety in the hole, and then you had the other DBs. Remember that? I'm sure you do. All right, so here you go. Again, all right, is it 4 yards? Is it 3? But you got 3 guys here. What happens? You got Lee Kpogba. Now, look. When I'm looking at the nose guard, I see JJ there, right? It looks like JJ to me. I'm looking at the nose guard. Where's he going? He's going to the other side, and Lee's going down the other side. So I know that the last play, I was right. I had 2 guys in the gap. Here, these guys are right in doing it. So this will not be a 15 or 12-yard gain. It's probably a 3 or 4-yard gain. But again, that's not bad. So it's 2nd and 6 right now. Again, they've gone to this. Here, I keep calling it Steeler. You're not playing it like actual Steeler, but you see right here. Now, you got 3. You really got 4 guys in the box here. Now, this safety here, when you see the 2nd and 6, this safety here is coming down. That's Floyd right there. He'll be a whole player, a support player in the box, but you're still going to, probably, I shouldn't say this because you know why? Because some guys make some great plays, and we'll see what happens here because I can't remember. All right, I don't want to sit here. They're blitzing. They're bringing the spear safety off the edge, okay? And you can see Floyd was covering for him. So they're bringing it was a zone. It was actually kind of a zone blitz right there. That's the zone blitz, and Floyd covered out there where the spear was. And you see this. So trying to confuse, trying to mess up. There's Lee Kpogba. It's still going to be a 3-yard gain, but they're doing good stuff. They're causing disruption there. That was good. You know what? But you had an outside contain guy too, though, didn't you? You had that contain to force him, disrupt him, so that he turned back in to what? The troops, because the troops are in the inside. Lee Kpogba, your dude who had 13 tackles this game, is on the inside. So, again, check it out. So, you have the spear coming off. You see Floyd coming down. Not bad. I like that. That's okay. And you see right there, you see Alston right there, who's in Colorado now. He's taking the inside route, but Kpogba's there over the top. That's a good fit. Now, run through him. Lee. Don't overrun him. Run through him, man. And I know you'll be doing that a lot more this year. I'm telling you, big fan of Kpogba. Yeah, I know. But he's tough. He's tough, man. He's tough, and he generates the people there. Again, stay square, stay low. See where he breaks down? He broke down about a half second too late. Because if he would have broke down just a little bit faster, and then you want to drive your feet through it, right? Because on contact, you accelerate. That's what Neal Brown, again, run your feet through. You accelerate. Coaches speak. I'm giving you the WolfMan's speak. Accelerate your feet. Chop, 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 chop. That's what you do. Offense, defense. You want your kid to be a football player? Doesn't matter. Chop, 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 chop. Even a quarterback, before he throws the ball, chop, 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 boom. Right? Same thing. Doesn't matter. All right. And stop it here. So, what's happening with the game? It's 3rd and 2. Well, I screwed that. 3 red and 2. 3 red and 2. And now you have a defensive line. You got 3. So, really, and it's interesting, this whole concept here. You have a wide 5 technique out there with Alston. You got, it looks like JJ there's like a 1 or 2 eye shade on the left guard. And then you're looking at Lockhart here, who could be head up on the guard. We call that a 2. Maybe he's a little bit to the outside shoulder. But then you see behind him is the Mike linebacker. He's stacked right behind on a 2-eye, it appears. And then you got X-ray in the box. Okay, so that's very interesting alignments there. where you push or where you position those defensive linemen. Okay, so now look at Kpogba attack. I like this. Kpogba's attacking. Obviously, X-ray's a slower read because he's apparently going to have to cover some gaps, the ones that you're not protecting there. And it's not bad. That's not a bad play. That's good, man. You got to like that right there. And they do get a first down, but you only got 5 guys in the box. I mean, you could help out. I mean, obviously you don't want to go man, I guess, but there's 5. If there's 5 offensive linemen in the box and there's 3 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers, the running back still is number 6. Anyone else is not in position in 2 yards to make that. So if the offensive linemen just cover up their guy, they're going to get that first down, chances are. Unless there's a TFL, unless one of your guys penetrates. And it didn't happen. It's 1 block. Again, you get up. That guard did miss X-ray there, so good job at X-ray. But, 3rd and 2. It's 3 red and 2. First down now. First down. Same thing. You can see it again. Slow motion. Trying to do that. Bad angle by that guard. I would have said, hey, guard, you want to go where X-ray is going to be, where he met that running back. That's where the guard wants to be. Just if you're an offensive lineman, you want to learn something. Go to where he's going to be, not where he is. That guard went up to X-ray where he was, not where X-ray was going to be. Okay, so 1st and 10, and it's looking like we got 5. It's 10 personnel, 2 wides on each side. It's 1st and 10. He's back for a pass. Look at that's D Stills again. D Stills just doing it. That's why I know I just believe, man. I really pray he makes the NFL, the team. Big fan of his. But watch this. He just went to 2-3 guys. Look at this, man. You're rushing 4 guys, maybe 3. Oh no, 4 guys. You're rushing 4 guys. You got Lee Kpogba. He's doing it. Red dog, green dog. If it's wide open. There you go. Good job. Good job. That's what you do when you get an exceptional player, and you can do that. That's cool stuff, man. So, again, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'd like to be that offensive line coach chewing those guys up. So, here you go. 4th quarter, it's 1st and 20 because there was a holding call on that. All right, so because I'm Dante. Not only did he get 2 or 3 guys, he created a holding call. So, 1st and 20, 3:35 left in the game. And you're going back up the middle. Again, all right, so 3 yards, that's something that you can take at a first down and 10. Look at the alignments again. So now you have 5. It's 2 by 2, same thing. They haven't changed anything. Nothing. But again, you still outnumber. Forget Rangel. Now, that was a running back quarterback. I guess they would have probably adjusted for that. But here you go. You got 5. 5 against 5 numbers. And so you come through here. And not bad. Another 3 yards. All right. So I actually, they're playing hard. They're playing physical. I like this. Again, I don't like the number situation, but they're getting it done. I'd like to see it just a little bit shorter. But watch what you see here. You see JJ's going out here to the right, and Kpogba's coming in, trying to cause that confusion. And, yep, that's not bad. No complaints. I like to see him get a little bit quicker. And that was 1st and 20 again. So that's 3 yards. It's not bad at all. I take that back. Not bad at all. All right. So now you're looking here. We got tight ends and 1 by 1 off the hips of each tackle. So you have it here, 2nd and 17. You got 2 in the bottom here. You got 2 up top. It's empty right there. Just going to go pass. What do? They drop the screen right here. Watch this play. Oh, X-ray. Gets the left forearm out. Saves big. He only gets 10 yards in this. This was a touchdown. This is right down the alleyway. Right. Oh, yeah. There you go. Well, maybe Floyd would have got him. Maybe it was a touchdown, but he did get 10 yards. So now it's 3rd and 7. All right. So you're looking at 2 by 2. Same thing, except for last time it was empty because it was 2nd and 17. Now it's 3rd and 7. Here we go. Isn't film fun? Look at this. You learn a lot, don't you? Get out there, and he makes a catch. It's 3rd and 7, and he goes and he cuts out at 5. All right, so there you have it. Now, this is what I do like. I do like you see down here, I think it's Carnell there, that he's lining up over that number 2 receiver. Okay, I like that. I want to see more of that this year, whether he's playing zone or whatever. Disrupt that dude. There's no reason why you can't go ahead and stay. If you're going to play out here, if that's what the coach wants, there's no reason why they can't stay out there and put somebody out there. Look at this here. What is going on here? When you look at here on the top hash, all right, that's a 5-yard hitch and 10 yards. That's what it is to me. 5-yard hitch. I mean, I'm doing RPO right there. Doing an RPO. Okay? Marquise Floyd, he's way too late. Way too late. Never going to get there. And here you go. You go with this, and you have a receiver. Now, like I said, I still like that. I like, but, what I don't like, and you see, reroute him. Hit him before 5 yards. Before 5 yards, that's where you just turn. Hit him and reroute him. Don't be a linebacker playing against a slot receiver and then try to run with them. Lord, no. Know what you're doing is know your size, know your position, know your field position, know what the deal is, know the circumstances. It's 3rd and 7, right? Oh, my goodness. They had Hope Deep. His job is to make sure he doesn't go ahead and get that first down. Not bad what he did there, but hit the dude. Reroute him. Take a freebie. It's fun. It's fun to get a free shot. All right, 4th and 3, 1:56 left in the game. And it looks to me like they're bringing some heat. All right, they're rushing 4, 5. All right, they're rushing 5 right here. And they're breaking through. And no go. And terrible play. You've just been going ahead and doing all that running. And your 2 last play. All right. So be it. Good for the Mountaineers, though, right? Good job. Way to go, another 14 corner, right? Good job. Way to hold strong. He made some good plays there. He made a couple bad ones in the game, but real good. All right, real good. So again, now we're 1st and 10. Or no, sorry, same play. My bad. Same play. And we'll just go ahead and do the rewind. Right there, seeing it. Oh, there we have these coming in on you. And nope, not today. All right. I think we got another series here. 1st and 10. You see him going up. Oh, not happening. All right. This is the stand right here. Last series, the stand. You see him. He's got to go ahead and go up again. Well, he makes the play, man. They're going after you. They're coming after you. They threw a flag, but they took it back. There was not a flag. They took it back. He did look back in time. There's worse in the game besides that, so I'm okay with that. Good job. 2nd and 10, 1:22 in the game left. What are you going to do? He's going back for another deep pass. They're taking 2 shots, and our guy, 14, makes the play. They're picking on him, but he does what? He makes the play. Good job. Good job. This is the game. The end of the game is on the line. The defense wins this game. They win it. You don't have to play pretty all the time, but you got to win it. And you got to do it at the crucial times. And that's what they did. They won it right here. So congratulations, WVU. We need more of that this year and more of these plays where you're on them, not being fooled, not being too afraid to be aggressive. All right? What I saw last year in the secondary, especially because they're young, right? They're young. And I felt like there was a lot of hesitation. Maybe afraid is a bad word, not a good word. But again, right here, you're seeing it. That's 3rd down, so it's 3rd and 10 there. They throw that pass, another drop pass, Oklahoma State. And we'll watch the replay here. Seeing this, they're still fighting and trying to get in there. All right, good job. Now it's going to be 4th and 10. Game is over. I mean, it's so bad. They don't even take a shot. They try to throw the swing, the check down to the running back. I mean, at least throw the dang ball. If it's game's on the line, man, somebody needs to tell this right. I'll tell you. I won't rip on the poor kid. All right. So, again, watch this play. Good job, WVU. You won. Good job with Nico Marchio. He came in the second half. He was down 10-7. Jalen Anderson had 2 huge runs against this Oklahoma State defense. The team played hard. It was cold. It was rainy. It sucked. Nobody was there. You saw the stands. Nobody was there, man. And just not a lot of people wanted to be. The Mountaineers were, what were they, 2-6? 2-6 in the Big 12, and they were 4-7, and they played really hard. They didn't play great. They didn't play smart all the time. but they played really hard. And you got to like a team, especially on a cold, bad day. JT Daniels, that whole experiment went down the drain. Garrett Green gets hurt in the first series of the second half. Your true freshman, Nico Marchio, comes in and plays well and helps the team win. Jalen Anderson, your running back, who hasn't really played much this season, goes off and has 2 huge runs. And then you got your defense, and you got your stalwarts like Dante Stills, really making an impact there. I'm trying to get out of there. Sorry about that. And so many good things happening. And once again, they came out. Got a lot of hope. There's a lot to look on that film and show the guys. Just be brutally honest with them. If you want to have success this year, okay, here's the things I'm pointing out to you that you did well. And these other things I'm pointing out that you didn't do well, you got to get rid of it. You got to change it. If it's all about effort. You heard Neal Brown talking in the press conference, talking about running to the ball. He said they're not there yet. Well, if they're not there yet running the ball, that's a concern. He likes the physicality. They're improving the physicality. I like that. He's talking about running his feet through the tackles. Well, you know what? You can flip that on the other side of the ball. Runners, run your feet and break those tackles. See, the game of football is really easy. Really, really easy. So we'll go ahead and we'll call it quits here now. I think I've gone over my – jeez. I get lost in film. I love it so much. I hope you do too. And, there's a lot that can be learned. We're going to break down again. We're going to have a special pre-game, which I've been doing a lot of pre-games this year. I'm not, but a special one that's in-house at the Pallet Bar, and it's in-house for the network. Okay, the WolfMan's Call Network and the Voice of College Football Network. And that's it. It's not going to go out anywhere else publicly. So if you don't have it, you got to sign up at the Voice of College Football or go to one of the fine establishments that we have in the network. And just so you can see them. Again, I know I keep pumping them up, but I truly appreciate them with everything they are, man. They're pretty amazing. And just sit there. You can watch it every Monday through Thursday. You can watch the WolfMan's Call Network at these places, man. And we're proud to have them. And again, we're proud of Northern Eagle right there, distributors. And right here at Calacino's, Danny's Pitch. They just came on this week. Proud to have them. You got Calacino's at Beckley. Danny's in Bluefield. And, of course, then you have the Pitch there in Dunbar. And looking at it here, man, you got Archies. He was just talking about Talk Pitt. Talk Pitt is going there, man. How cool is that? That he's got to go there for his 34th birthday. I really appreciate that. And I'm sure Mike Manning there at Archies does as well. And they have incredible food. You got Route 22 in Weirton. Yep. I'm having issues, folks, with keeping that up there. We'll try one more time. And right there, there we go. Route 22, Weirton, West Virginia. Calacino's, Beckley. Hinton, West Virginia, man. River City Grill and Pub. They got Legend Sports Bar and Grill out there at Cheat Lake, Gizzy. Danny's, like I said, Princeton. Kegler's royalty, baby. What's up, Dougie? You got Mason Jar Saloon and Hot Spot there in Morgantown with Steve Reese. And you got Mason Jar Barbecue and more in Fairmont with Steve Reese. You have Jimbo's there in Elkins and in Buckhannon. Beautiful food. I had the wings there. We went live there a week ago Monday. And the Pallet, that's where we're having the network from. So it's good. I'm going to be breaking down Penn State film, man. I'm going to be showing you what they do really well and maybe what they don't do really well. And it's going to be a great mix-up and matchup. And tomorrow, we're going to have a Penn State dude come on here. His name's Tim. And I'll give you that information tomorrow. And then, of course, we're going to have Tony Altimore from the Pac-12, right? Remember, Tony came in there. Brilliant dude. I think he works for like the government and just smart as smart can be, man. Really inside. You can't get that information many other places. We got some really good dudes, and we'll go ahead and we'll do some other cool things as well. So all that being said, I think it's time that we go ahead and go ahead and what do we do, man? We're gonna rock and roll on the commercials and get us out of here. You all have a great day, and it's totally about the WolfMan's Call and you. Nobody ever wants to join the conversation, so I'm going to let you get going here. All right? Here we go. I found them. I'm good to go. Hey, everybody, let's go Mountaineers. You got 17 days to get ready. Let's keep working it. Neal Brown is liking the improvement, working other areas that he needs to improve, working the quarterback situation. Regardless of what happens there, the best will play. And with all that being said, we are Mountaineers, and we fight like crazy. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Traylon Davis. I'm from Jackson, Ohio, and when I'm back home, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Northern Eagle Distributing, proudly serving Anheuser-Busch products to West Virginians. Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia, always in stock. How many? The anywhere, anytime chargers, powering a connected world. Never buy AA batteries again. Rechargeable 500 times plus. Paul Mini AA USB lithium battery, as easy to charge as your cell phone. Sustainable energy, stay charged. Go green, save green. Feel the power of Paul. Order now at paulmini.com.